snäll, en glad. Okay, guys. Hello and welcome to this Sunday stream that we don't usually have. We usually have it on Saturdays. But I was away for a 3-day dopamine fast, and that included my phone. So I couldn't do it on the Saturday. I see we have some people here. Please like the stream. We had some likes before it got going. But please, yeah, well, looks like it's a little like this, but it looks like, oh wow, it actually looks like we have some people. Yo, what's up, guys? Say hello in the chat. Yeah, I guess, you can ask me. We'll treat this as any Q&A stream, really. But good day, Don. Wow, you're very loyal on this. Wesley Westbrook, what's your favorite food? We'll get to all of that. Like, please keep questions coming. That's great to queue up on them. But now I actually have a big story to tell, right? Because I've been away. Jamie says, I like the new music. Well, it's always some kind of video game music. Good to see you, Jamie. Hello. But it's also always some kind of video game music. If you search Spotify for Mario's rooftop pool party, I think. Yeah, by DJ Cutman. It's from Super Mario World, but yeah, remade like that. But okay, so I'll start by telling you, I guess, we're gonna have I have the long vlog from this whole experience that I will put out in the week. I'll also, when it all sinks in a bit, it's something to process, an experience like this. So then I'll, of course, do some actual just video talk about the fast. But for now, I'm quite tired. If I seem a bit, I don't know what I seem like to you, but I'm quite low energy. Like, not that I feel bad, it's just that when you break a fast like this, the body's kind of like, okay, we got everything that we've been depleted from for all these days. Now we can relax. We can go out of stress mode and just be like, So a little out of it. It would be helpful if you stock up with some questions, but I talk a bit about the experience. So I guess I put out the video about the fast, what it was, a dopamine fast. So not only fasting from food, but also fasting from my main addictions, caffeine and nicotine. Nicotine via snus, caffeine via coffee. Both are substances that I think can be a net positive used at the right dosage. And that's really my goal. I don't want to quit them completely, but I have for a long time just used them way too much. I have done similar fasts, but I've never really had a strategy or like a huge drive to keep it going, if you see what I'm saying. I have, thanks for the likes, guys, but it's just kind of naturally when you go away for a few days from it, if you manage to, you will kind of naturally use less. Now I'm doing it with the intention of using this momentum, lower the baseline and reintroduce it at a lower rate. But also I wanted to take a break from my phone, because I think we all are too much on our phones these days, but especially me, working on social media and having clients to work with. I had the phone all the time, and it's easy to spill over into just scrolling, doing bullshit stuff. So I wanted to take a break from that too. And in as a continuation or what a extension of that, also just fast from people, just be with myself for a bit. So I had planned I knew I would start the fast at around lunchtime on Thursday, come back and break it at around lunchtime on a Sunday. Then I figured, why not start the food part earlier on the evening, you know? Then when I woke up, I I had kind of my wrist was kind of sore, so I just felt like, okay, I initially was planning to start it all at the same time, so I'll just have one last meal here very early. I go up at like 4, you know. So I had a last meal, just some protein. Turns out it wasn't enough. I'm still kind of sore in my wrist. I did some kind of heavy stuff on the day before. You know, I went for low volume, but I went for like a 1 rep max strict curl, and apparently that was a lot for the left wrist. But yeah, so all the other things, the snooze, coffee, I had my last one like at 11:30 or something, and then I went away. And I posted one last time on Instagram, and then I removed my SIM card and put the phone on airplane mode just so I can bring it as a camera, right? So I come out, and I'm lucky with the sun. It's been cloudy all day, but the sun peeks out, so I gotta take the chance. I go and take a bath in the water with the sun, beautiful. Then I immediately went up to chop down a tree. It's something I've been dreaming about doing for a long time. I got the go ahead from my family that also share this house that I was staying at for one tree. So I cut it down. I couldn't really, you know, you have to dry trees to actually use them as firewood, but I could use some branches from it. That was quite interesting experience. I've never done that before. It felt kind of primal, you know. Then, I mean, I knew because I removed everything at once that already this evening I feel quite bad. So I just turned on the sauna, went in there for a bit, I made a fire, and I actually just sat and stared at the fire for like 3 hours. It was the only thing I felt like doing. I started feeling really negative, which I expected. I knew I was gonna feel that way, you know. So I sleep. I actually slept great. I didn't look at the clock, you know. A few times I, you know, couldn't help but see it on the phone, but I used it really when I wasn't filming. I was never looking at the phone, so a lot of the time I didn't know what was going on. But I would guess I went to bed at my usual. I was using my biological clock, right? Going to bed at around 8, waking up at around 4, and from this point I had this huge, huge headache. And look, I do have some things in my life that I don't necessarily feel great about, but that I do fine with. Otherwise, come on. Uh, I wish I could just turn off notifications like altogether on my phone when I'm live. But yeah, some things that are kind of difficult, but I do fine with otherwise. But I knew that when I'm gonna feel this huge deficit from removing my stimulants, food, nothing to distract me, I knew I'm gonna sit here with my big headache and just loop in negativity. So that day was the most difficult one. Was so difficult. I went up, I jump in the water. It's cold, you know, so that distracts you for a bit. But then all I did for the rest of the day was basically uh, cold shower, sauna, nap. Cold shower, sauna, nap. I couldn't do shit but that. And nap was like slash meditate, you know, just be in control, master those negative thoughts. It was one of the ideas, apart from the kind of stimulant reset, to see that if I can just observe and manage, you know, with my these things that are a little difficult for me, you know, when I feel this bad, then I'll for sure be able to deal with them, you know, just negative emotions when I'm back, you know, back to reality. And so, yeah, that's it basically. So that day sucked completely. And then the next day, I woke up. The headache was a lot better. It was still feeling very, very negative. Um, you know, every day, by the way, I started like it's funny because I'm recapping it, and you'll see the vlog. I'm trying to remember everything, but I started every day by just lighting some candles and just journaling, kind of wrote everything I was feeling and thinking, and I threw it all on the fire. You know, symbolically, I get it out of me and I burn it because that was the point too, right? Leave parts of me that don't serve me behind and give birth to new Theo, kind of. But so, yeah, the sun peeked out again. Like the day that I felt the worst was really cloudy, you know. But the sun peeked out on the next day. It was still very windy though, but I went for a pretty cool swim. It was so intense with the wind and the cold and the sun that I felt a bit high, just forgetting about the negativity for then. But then, as soon as that was over and I was heading back, I was like, yeah, I'm right back to the negativity. Then, finally, in a place like guys, I see you're quite a few. Maybe you're Yeah. Ask more questions, guys. I see I have a few to get to then. Yeah, finally, when I was like past the 48-hour mark, I finally started experiencing some positive emotions. And I know I say that in a clip because I did vlog. You know, the vlog from it is gonna be kind of long. I hope it's gonna be a fucking practice for you in just sitting and looking at something. You know, people have no attention span these days. But it's kind of 50-50, me talking about my experience and me just showing beautiful nature and me swimming and stuff like this, you know. But I said in a clip that finally some positive emotion, you know, when the kind of addiction, the you know, the withdrawals were greatly alleviated, so they don't influence my emotional state anymore, and I actually just can enjoy it. But before, up until this point, it was this huge mix of internal chaos but external beauty in the nature. It's so nice there out on the island. But the funny thing is, because I could sleep really well when I was feeling shitty, I was just like meditating, falling into sleep, waking up, going up, sauna, cold shower, repeat kind of. But now, when I started feeling good, I actually started to feel a bit excited. And so sleep was worse this last night. But that's fine. You know, that happens sometimes on fasts anyway. Um, yeah, but then I had looked at a weather report before, and so it looked like the Sunday today could be a very nice day. And it was. But I didn't have a clock. So just as soon as I saw it getting like lighter outside, up until then I tried to, you know, I actually viewed a few clips on my phone, like some dopamine from the phone, I confess, just watching some clip, because I don't have any internet or anything. I can't watch anything else, you know. Uh, and I was able to study some Greek finally. I had brought Greek papers. I had no chance, no shot at doing that with a headache before. But then when I started seeing it be lighter outside, I went out because I knew that we have daylight savings time. So the sunrise is going to be an hour earlier on the clock, which I guess shouldn't matter at all. Because I didn't watch it. I don't know why I'm even saying that, you know. But I just went out as soon as it was lighter. But yeah, I went out way too early. So I was standing. It was very cold. It was been a nice but cold day. So had to stand. I kind of went around the island to look for the best spot. I found a beautiful one, but I had to stand there for like an hour to wait for the sun to come up. But when it did, wow, was it worth it, you know? So I put up the camera. I went out naked this time because it was early on a Sunday. I know no one is going to be around. So I went out skinny dipped, and then I just kind of stood there in the water when I had taken the plunge, you know, for a few minutes. I coined this word, crafting. That, you know, that golden average between laughing and crying. You're just like so overwhelmed by those, like no tears, but almost, you know. And then that was it. That was the end. Then I just went back. I had prepared so the sauna was on. Ah, shit, was I freezing on my way home, back to the house. But it was worth it. I had the sauna prepared, heated myself up, and then just, you know, sorted out whatever I had to sort out in the house before leaving. Then I came home, broke the fast with a solar shake, some carrots, some liver, of course. And now I had total in the day 3 espressos and three snooze, which is kind of my goal now after the fast, which I'm not sure I'll be able to stick to right away. It's like my long-term goal. I can definitely see, because even though a fast like this will help like drastically shrink the addiction, it won't completely remove it. So, you know, and I know I'm with these things, I need to allow myself a bit of room of not being perfect, because I know how I am. If I see it as this is the only thing that counts and I fail it, I will just go back to way more. So 3 of each per day is the goal. I guess if it's like up to 5 or something, I'd be happy still. But yeah, that's the experience, guys. I mean, I haven't processed it all yet, but it was definitely a positive experience. Um, yeah, that's it for now. So let's see one more in the chat. I mean, we have some people watching. Please like, and please keep some more questions coming. I'd appreciate it if you want to support me and the stream with a super chat for the ridiculous experiments I do for you guys, so I can tell you my experiences. And of course, I did it for myself too, but I'm sharing my experience. So if you get anything out of my content or this stream at all, I'd really appreciate you supporting me with a super chat. Okay. So Don also asked, were you alone for 3 days? Yes, I just said hi to some people I passed by on the island, but I had no conversations at all. So that was the point, kind of. You can fast from everything, even people. I am an extreme extrovert, so I get a lot of energy from talking to people most of the time, and I like that. But almost even for that reason that I talk, so it can take energy from me in the end, even though I almost don't feel it sometimes because I get a little high almost from good social interactions. But it's so kind of good for me to fast, even from people. Uh, Carmen Rodriguez, was this more of an experiment or something you felt you needed to do? I think I was pretty clear that I felt I needed to do it and exactly why I did it. I have my video about it. It is to curb the stimulant addictions. It is a practice in stoicism. I feel like I have great discipline with certain things, but my discipline overall with certain other things just have to do something because it has to be done, even though it doesn't feel rewarding in the moment. I want to level up, so I feel like this sort of fast is sort of a springboard for something like that. Um, yeah, that's it basically. I feel like it's something I mean needed to do, needed and needed. I feel like it was a good, very good thing for me to do that I had planned for a long time. Um, it always becomes an experiment too. You're always experimenting because I've never done something exactly like this. I've never been away from the phone like this on a fast, right? Um, yeah. So Google user. Hey Google user. Very cool. Do you think you'll visit the archipelago again this winter? No, because I'll be living in Greece, so I know I won't. Uh, I'll be moving to Greece in 2 weeks now. Not Monday tomorrow, not the one after that, but the one after that. That's when I'm moving. I mean, not permanently necessarily, we'll see, but I will be there in the winter, so I won't go back. Jamie Lynn, do you think MH would be collectively better if everyone could work with the sun cycles? A continuation of the DST topic. I'm not sure what DST is, but guess you mean mental health with MH. I find it funny when people use these, what do you call them? Abbreviations, these shortening things, as if they're like, yeah, I don't know. Mental health, I'm guessing that one is DST. I don't know what it is. But yeah, of course it would be better if everyone could work with the sun cycles. Like the problem, as I see it, with a modern human is that we're out of touch with our nature. I see it more and more that we are, of course, part of nature. And look, it's not that we can't have any technology at all, but it's just that when we completely disconnect, when we live as if the sun doesn't exist, we're just exposed to the fake light. We eat foods that are kind of fake. We are way too little in nature, always in this kind of fake environment of just hard rocks, really, and toxic, air, gas uh, from everything, cars and whatever, plastic, so much bullshit. We're completely disconnected from our nature, and yeah, that's what I feel like now. That in a way, even when I'm struggling, in a sense, when I have just issues in my life, it's not that I just because I go up and greet the morning sun, for instance, can't, I don't know, have a problem in a relationship or have a fight with someone or have difficulty with my job or whatever. Of course I can, but I feel like you know that it's like I can't just wither away into this nothingness because I'm so in touch with nature, and nature just is. It has cycles, daylight savings time. Ah, the DST topic, but I just felt like is have we had this talk before? I thought about the daylight savings time because it happened. Oh, yeah, I mean, I guess I mentioned it. It's funny because now it's gonna get darker earlier in the day here, but the morning sun is gonna be earlier. So hmm, I don't know what I think about that. Really, it's hard because I think it's kind of annoying to change it like that, but I guess it's kind of good. Um, I wonder now I'm starting to think about because tomorrow I have Greek when kind of the sunrise is, and I can't have that outside. I can have client calls outside afterwards though because I have that on Mondays. Um, mm, 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 mm. Google user, are you going to have a family in the future? Well, if God is willing and the creeks don't rise, as they say. Yeah, I mean, I want to. It is my highest dream, but gotta have the right person for that, right? And that sort of just isn't all locked in yet. So I would like to. I mean, I feel like it's weird to be like a coach and not want to be like a dad or like a leader personality, because that's like the ultimate leadership. You, together with someone that shares your values and morals and interests, you put these new, completely new people on earth. There are sort of an extension of you, but you can't see them as your property or anything, of course. But you really get a chance to give them a good start from the start. And I know because I had quite a traumatic childhood, and I know exactly in what ways I was traumatized, and well, what things were lacking in my childhood, and that I see no, it's like yeah, it's the most beautiful thing to be able to help someone else not have to deal with that. And that's what I bring to other people and to coaching clients too. That, for instance, I was very much not validated growing up. Even I knew I was a talented kid in a sense, because school was easy for me when it wasn't for everyone else, with the math and spelling and stuff. I had talents. I could sing, I could talk. People thought I was older all the time, and stuff. But my parents really kind of never validated me because I had my autistic brother too. And, because he is so troubled, I'm just expected to be perfect all the time. So I kind of only got criticism. And I felt, yeah, I didn't feel validated ever. And that's why I am very, very good at validating others, because I know how important it is to feel seen and heard for who you are and appreciated for who you are, because that was lacking for me. So that's something I bring to coaching clients, and it's something I will bring to my children. You can't, it's not the point that you're supposed to just tell them, oh, you're great, you're great, you're great, you create a narcissist kid, but, you know, don't only discipline them, don't only tell them you're doing this wrong, you're doing this wrong, blah, 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 blah. Tell them they're good too, and let them know that you listen to them, make them feel seen and heard and appreciated too. We have some people, please like. Swen Livin, hello there, hello. Um, I mean, yeah, please keep some questions coming, guys. And yeah, again, I'll remind you that I'd appreciate it if you get anything out of my content or this stream or any other content I make at all. You can support me via the super chat. We have the Patreon, link is in the description. You can support me with as little as $1 per month. We have the Solar Store now with the Solar Knight and Solar Maiden shirts with a really beautiful logo. The guy that made the logo, I don't know, he kind of ghosted me. I don't know what's up with him because he just made the logo for me. He really wanted to do that. Like, for free. It wasn't something he sold me. And then after I made the shirts, he's kind of gone. And I think, I mean, it's not that I'm hurt by that or anything. I just find it weird that he would put time and effort into making this and then just kind of disappearing. Um, yeah, guys. I mean, I told my story of the dopamine dry fast. I mean, this is kind of a special extra stream. It's not a dry fast, man. It wasn't a dry. I can tell you that I kept it like I did like intermittent dry fasting, that I didn't drink at the start of the day, and I used the sauna at least once, sometimes twice, before I started rehydrating with the salts in the afternoon, just to sort of get some dry benefits like dehydrating, getting stuff out a bit. But then I wanted to rehydrate both for sleep, it helps, not as much cortisol if you're not all dehydrated, but also I wanted to be really aggressive in the sauna, because it feels like, I've heard people say that too, it's not something I've looked into a lot, but it feels like it helps drive out, if I want to detox from the caffeine and nicotine, it feels like it helps drive it out, right? So if I can rehydrate later in the day, I can of course be more aggressive with a sauna in. Jamie Lynn, larger sizes for the maidens in the making, please. Asking for a friend loan. Well, don't we have? Well, we should have some. I had to look at the sizes now. I have given a medium to one of my clients, an online client in Sweden. Charlotte, what's up? Om du kollar, tjena. We met because she doesn't live here in Stockholm, but she had some work thing here, so we met, and I gave her a Solar Maiden shirt. For her, I gave her a medium. But we have here a small, medium, large, XL, XXL. For her, it's a medium. She's kind of tall. I'd say she's almost as tall as me. And she wants to lose a little bit of weight, but she's not really fat. um but just and she got the medium and it worked fine. Me myself, I think the sizes are kind of big, because for me, the small and medium both work, I'd say. The small would get a little tight if I bulk up big time, but right now it works. um you were looking at the tanks. I have to look at them now too then. um are they just smaller? Okay. Yeah, yeah, okay. I would guess I don't have a say in that, that because, I didn't pick the sizes. They were just available. So maybe they don't have bigger. I'll look into it afterwards. Please like the stream if you haven't already. If you have any questions, please keep them coming to help the stream going. If you want to support me, please consider sending a super chat. I totally appreciate it, guys. I'm gonna need a lot of support from you now, guys. I'm fucking moving to Greece. Um, no, but I'm gonna have to level up my content either way, and that was sort of a goal that I know, like with the fast, the stuff that I'm not good at with my job, I'd say I'm good at the content. When I'm here talking, I am good. I have good information. I'm good at coaching. I do put up videos, but playing the game of just the algorithm and thumbnails and all that kind of shit, right? I feel like I have a lot of leveling up to do. It's just that, of course, those are the parts that I don't find as just fun and immediately rewarding. Like recording videos is fun a lot of the time. Not always. Not always. That's work too. But I'm more used to it in a sense. And yeah, no. But that was one thing. That now when I be going to Greece, I will really have to level up my own business. Like I'm doing well when I'm just at home here, but. Yeah, even it's not that I couldn't make it, but I want to level up in, I feel a higher pressure to do that when I'm here at my parents' place again. I'm often here when I stream. They're away many weekends, and I just prefer it. It's bigger. They're away. They're not even in the same place. But I have my own place, but it's something that's just, comfortable with the environment. It just feels safer, right? So it's a good kick in the ass to go to Greece. I've been wanting to move. A kick in the ass to level stuff up. Um, Jamie Lynn, thank you. I guess I can always make it a tank. I did that with one of my tanks, right? I cut it off here. I mean, I made my tank into a crop top, kind of, that I gave to Opti. By the way, all the videos with Opti, Andreas, his name is really, but they are in Swedish, but they all have subtitles. I am not sure if all of you get it. Maybe you just aren't as into those videos too. And I know the audio is not good. That's a lesson learned from those. I've never done that kind of, I don't know, meeting someone, filming in the gym and stuff. So the audio is not great anyway, but they all have subtitles. Because they have fewer likes than a lot of other videos, like view like ratio, and I guess some people click it and it's just Swedish and then go away. But there are subtitles. I put a lot of effort into making the subtitles. You can kind of tell if you know Swedish. You can kind of tell that I get bored towards the end, and I make them. I don't make up anything we say, but I make them a little trollish just to have more fun when I make the subtitles. Yeah, but the one video that did really well with Opti was an Opti Saturday starts early. That was with a beautiful morning sun. Google user said the subs were funny. Well, I'm glad. I'm glad someone tells me. I thought I was kind of funny with some of them. Google user said, "Let's go. Are you going to be in strictly Greece, or do you consider traveling around there?" You mean around Greece? I mean, because Greece is the country, right? I mean, could travel. I mean, there's going to be a lot of to see in Athens. I'll be in a place called Saronida. It's like south of Athens. And I mean, I'll focus on just, it's not traveling, that's the point, right? It's living somewhere else. So will be a lot to see around Athens. And I mean, then it would be like, if I felt like this is not the place for me, then I'd consider traveling somewhere else. But you see, I'm not going to travel. That's not the point. I want to. I've known for a long time. At least in Stockholm, I'm not happy. Probably not in Sweden permanently. So I've been thinking about, what do I want? Well, I want more sun, that kind of climate. I want more open-minded people, and then like, I don't want to be too far away from home, like Thailand or something. That wouldn't be a place for me to live. Maybe go on vacation. I was there a long time ago, but then I ended up with Southern Europe, so like Spain or Greece. And my name, Theodoros, it is Greek. It means the gift from God, so it's kind of biblical. I have a good feeling about Greece, but it's not the final decision or anything. It's just that I'm not going to travel. I'm going to live somewhere else, right? Yeah, and he specifies the region, Med states, Baltic states. Like at some point, yes, but that's not my focus at all. My focus is living somewhere else, trying to make it somewhere else. I'll see if I can work a little bit in a gym there too, maybe at least to begin with, So I'm not thinking at all about anything else than living there for now. I've never lived somewhere else, Uh, well, I've traveled quite a bit, but for shorter amounts of time. I've never lived somewhere else. So that's my entire focus right now. Jamie Lynn, maybe you can add a screen to remind viewers to turn on subtitles at the beginning of the video before it starts. Well, yeah, I could, but also it does say subtitles under the video. So, but this is something I realize. Sometimes I think I don't realize how fucking clear you have to be. And I don't mean to like talk down to anyone, but you feel like, yeah, but it's communicated. It says subtitles under, but I realize, because it's like when people ask in the comments on a video, like, oh, do you have Instagram? And it's like, it's always there in the description, and you realize, you have to remind people everywhere. And that's kind of how advertising and stuff in general works. Just reminder. It's actually how coaching works too. You always remind the clients or the viewer when you're coaching through a video, always remind. So that's something I realize, So I'm going to remind you again that you can support me via the super chat or become a Patreon, or pick something up from the Solar Store, and so you get something from yourself and support me at the same time. Really appreciate it, guys. Yeah, cool. Google user said at the end. Yeah, guys. Yeah. Oh, Sven Levin. Have you ever experienced FTE? Fuck this event. A moment in your life where you realized you can't live anymore like this, and then you started a massive change. If you did, what was it? I want to know. Well, I mean, my thing with that is, of course, I think about the panic attacks that I had. Like before that, I was depressed on and off for a long time. I often was anxious. I was frustrated. I had anger towards the world. I felt a lot of, I felt sometimes like I didn't really want to live, even though it was like a higher value I had always. No, but I won't kill myself, because I couldn't really see any meaning to life. But I felt like, but even if I can't see it, surely ending your own life must be failing at life, right? And so when I had my panic attack there 4.5 years ago ish, that was, I didn't think like, fuck this event. It was like, okay, this is so, okay, now I get it. I'm thinking about suicide because this is so intense and negative what I'm experiencing, that if this is gonna go on, I can't live like this. So I had, I then realized, but because up until that point, I had thought that, I just were a certain way. I was born a certain way. Oh, I have this tendency towards depression and anxiety. Oh, I'm just born this way. I have ADHD, blah, blah. But when this happened, I just understood that no one is predestined to be this way, right? So that's when I've told this story over and over, but that's when I decided to actually face the difficult, not hide, confronting the panic attacks until I conquer them, and then I change my life with everything I do on this channel. Started with just, I learned a lot about myself in that process of overcoming the panic attacks, but then I started, I saw the pattern when after this happened, and when I started training that I didn't like, and I ate a better diet, but I felt so much better. I started seeing this pattern of, do difficult thing now, do the tough thing right now, do the thing I don't feel like, that is less comfortable to do right now, feel better afterwards, instead of, this is difficult, let's hide away from it, let's numb ourselves with porn and drugs and alcohol and scrolling on the phone and video gaming, and being out all night partying, and then the difficult come afterwards, and I flipped it. But what I also start thinking about when you say that is just, guys, please ask more questions. If we can keep it going for another 25 minutes, I see one guy, a guy here. Sven Libin. Yeah. What I wanted to say is just these moments that are not like, fuck it, I can't live like this. But when you realize that situations you've been in before, when you just kind of realize that, shit, this is not for me anymore at all. I had that with certain, I guess it's better now, but certain like family situations when I hadn't like fully set my new boundaries and presented my way of being. I many times felt like I fucking hate what's going on here. I feel like I just have to put up with a bunch of shit. Like nothing. I don't want to say anything bad towards my family. People don't understand when they couldn't know too much of that, but it just, when you are in a situation, be like, fuck, I need to change things about this, and I started communicating more that, no, I don't really want to drink, you don't really have to ask me ever, I will tell if I want to, and that I leave earlier, so if you want me to be in on everything, we should start a bit earlier, we shouldn't put the dinner too late, la la la. And also with my choir, the actual singing with a choir, I enjoy, but everything social around it, it's so much beer and drinking and very beta behavior, to be honest, in my opinion. And I just noticed when we had some kind of like Christmas ending thing, and I was sitting in a bar, and I just felt like, what the fuck am I doing here, and so that kind of drifted away. Same thing with certain people you used to hang out with. When you meet them, you just notice like, we have no similar interest at all anymore. They are stuck in the same ways that I feel like I've left behind. So just other stuff. Yeah, like on a smaller scale. Just made me think about that with that. Monk. Bro, I got laid off and have no money anymore to return value to you, but I do have design, music, video skills. How do you feel about me making you a video intro, editing, outro? Well, Monk, I know you have supported me before, so I say thank you for that again. I remember it. It's been a while since I saw you. But yeah, man, that could be cool. That would be good. Please, yeah, I think you've emailed me before, right? The email must be in the description here, if you don't have it. Yeah, osuntfornuft@gmail.com for now. Um, please tell me more about that. That would be cool. I guess it makes the channel a little bit more professional looking. I do have the check mark. But yeah, Monk, I'd really appreciate that. And that's the thing, guys. When, I have to remind you that please, if you can, please support me via the super chat. I'm really giving a lot here to you because I want to, but this is how it works, guys. We uplift each other, and I remind you of that. But it's not, if you don't have anything to give there, you don't. But you can always, try to help out with questions in the chat. Make sure to like videos. Make sure to comment. It's like you always remind of all the things you want, right? But the point is that you want people to not just be little consumers, not just little like, I watched a video, I suck in, I'd never give anything back at all. I've been that kind of person. That's not like, it's something, it feels like more. I actually saw a post from Martina, like the most famous biohacking woman in Sweden, I'd say. And we haven't talked in a bit now, but we're sort of friends, not close or anything, and we might do a podcast at some point. But I saw her do this post. I've seen this trend too. A lot of like content creators and influencers, in lack of a better word, but feel a little like it's tough right now. And I feel like it's from the pandemic. People have been so used to just sit at home and be like, just consume. It's so used to communication being one way, because we of course keep putting out stuff even if you don't contribute anything. But and this is again something that's us disconnected to our nature. We're all supposed to help each other, guys. Do you understand that? How would life be if everyone was a consumer? Then nothing would be produced, nothing would be created, there would be nothing to consume. The idea with humans on earth is that we're supposed, I give you something and you give me something and I give you something. We're supposed to elevate ourselves together here on earth. Then people have become so ego, that they just think about, but I don't have to. No, no, no. I can just sit and watch. I can, you see, it's not an equal relation. Of course, the one with a YouTube channel, for instance, is always going to be giving more in that situation. But we're always supposed to work together. Like I buy stuff from content creators that I follow. Like just a little, if there's something, I can, and I like and I comment bullshit stuff, just to do my part. But of course, the content creator I followed, I'm always getting more from. But you see my point here, right? Uh, uh, uh. Google user, do you have any opinion on the power process? A lifestyle of lechery. I guess you mean lechery, right? Because you put lechery behavior, especially that shows a strong sexual interest in someone. Do you mean lechery? Because I was kind of talking about lechery, people who just consume, um, power process. What is that? What is that? Um, tell me more about it because I can't give an opinion right now. Um, Congratulations, monk. God made some space in your life so you can co-create. Yeah, exactly, exactly. You know, I used to be. I guess a lot of people, if it's not that they're just lazy and ego when they just, just consume. I'm not just talking about me and my channel. I'm talking in general. When people never think about what they can do back. It's like another thing. It's like people who would just, take out weights in the gym and don't put it away. Like, how would things be if everyone would do it like that? It would be a mess everywhere. But with some of these things, when people kind of don't comment or chat or anything, I think also feels like they're afraid, afraid of being seen. Because, if you say something dumb in the chat, or, it doesn't even have to be dumb. That's why, but someone can say that it's done, right? And I feel that's the big thing too. People are so fucking afraid of being seen. And I've been like that too. You get afraid even on commenting on stuff, even when you're anonymous, because if someone criticizes you, you feel like, they hurt me. But yeah, Phil D, good evening. Good evening, Theo. He says, good evening, Phil. Good to see you, man. We're just, I remember the last time you dropped in, you sent a super chat and told everyone to not be selfish. We're kind of talking about this again. Uh, Haha, wrong Google user. Haha, wrong word. Lychee, basically. Okay, lychee. The lychee fruit. What is that? I meant lychee like with two E, because a leech, that's to kind of suck life out of something, right? So being lychee with two E's. Um, and her lychee, the way you the way you spell it, allowing water to percolate through as sandy or rocky soil, porous. Is that really what you meant? I have no fucking idea what you tried to say. Leech. Okay, you say leech. Okay, but what was that? Was that not related to the power process at all? Because you asked about the power process and then a lifestyle of lechery. So was that a separate question? And then you commented on what I said. But tell me what the power process is then. Billy Batson. Do you recommend taking breaks from fasting? I've hit the plateau from weight loss, 330 to 260 pounds. Feel like my metabolism has slowed. Well, first of all, great job on that. That's more weight than I've ever had to lose personally. Of course, we all have our struggles, our addictions, our other things to lose than literal weight. Other weight that is more metaphysical. But I just want to applaud you on 70 pounds. That's good. Um, yeah, I mean, I always recommend taking break. I mean, I've practiced fasting. So, when I got into it, I got a little like overexcited and thought it's something you're supposed to do all the time. Then I kind of noticed that, okay, no, it's kind of an on and off thing. You shouldn't do it all the time. You should cycle it in and out. And you feel like your metabolism has slowed. Yeah, absolutely. And you talked, you came here because we chatted a bit in the comments on another video. I think if you feel like you're plateauing, but you're hitting your fast and you're not really overeating or something, then yes, I think you should find kind of what your maintenance calories-ish is. And I think you didn't really tell me in the comments, but you should hit more weights too. It's like people don't understand how helpful, especially if you haven't hit much weight training, how much that will aid you in your weight loss process. Because in the long term, with raising metabolism, gaining more muscle mass is just gonna be great. I've raised my metabolism a lot just by adding more muscle mass. But also, I feel like, or not feel like, this is what I've seen with clients that are the newer they are to weight training, the more weight they lose when they more fat they lose when they start weight training, because I think it puts such a demand on the body. Not only the protein that goes into the muscle, but the energy that's used to build the muscle and recover from the workouts. It's like, and the more body fat you have, the more the body can make up excess, like missing calories in a deficit created from the weight training in this case, from the body fat. So, definitely, if you just focus on eating good food, you can do intermittent fasting still, eating like 2 or 3 times per day, good high quality foods, and hit the weights. I think you'd very possibly see weight loss from that. Just keep the protein high, remember. And then at a point, you could try fasting again, and you probably have better results, both because, you will have built some muscle, so your BMR is better, but you've also raised the metabolism, not from, you can both like, how do I phrase that? You can both raise the metabolism as in, gaining more muscle so that your body just needs more, but then the metabolism can drop according to, if you starve your body fast or be in an aggressive deficit for a long time, the body's going to try to preserve energy. So yeah, basically hit the weights, eat good food on a maintenance routine for a while. You might even see fat loss from that, but otherwise, when you've done that for at least a couple of months, get back into the fasting. So, okay. I see Google user continue, but just because Billy Batson continued there. I lift like 3 to 4 times a week. Goal is to hit 220 pounds, and my lean body mass is 183 pounds. You're very tall or something. 183 pounds lean body mass. Are you like extremely muscular already? Because very tall, that doesn't really sound right to me. And if you base that on some kind of DEXA scan or something, I'd say don't trust them completely. But okay, it's good that you lift already. But I never know when someone is, Billy Batson. You're anonymous, right? Like, not to put you down for that, but that when someone says that they lift 3 to 4 times per week, it's like, yeah, but are you good at it, or are you complete shit at it? Because that's gonna matter a lot in your results in this, right? So yeah, that's always that's why I want to urge more people to just put themselves out there, even if you're not going to be a content creator like me. I mean, I don't know, it's more difficult on YouTube specifically, but yeah, it's very difficult for me to get when someone says they lift 3 to 4 times a week. It's like you could be super advanced, or you could have no idea what you're doing. I mean, I've been working in a gym. I've seen people that are there almost every day, and nothing fucking happens because they have so poor training practice. So it's not only about how often are you in the gym, like how good are you at the lifting. Okay, Google user. The power process. In order to have healthy, functional lives, people must formulate goals and exert non-trivial efforts to attain them. It's something humans need to do to live fulfilling lives. You say something else, but I must say first, I 100% agree with that. I guess the question is, do you see the power process as being snuffed out by consumer society, the lecherous society? Yes. It's because the things that we're supposed to kind of strive for, different rewards, they come too easy. Rewards that are meaningful are supposed to follow struggle, follow effort, like you say there, right? That you work hard to achieve your goals. But now you can get so much instant gratification that people get the experience of achieving goals, and then of course a lot of people get depressed and still, because deep down on some level they know that this is fucking useless. Do you know, just a thing like TV shows. I remember that before I knew everything I do now and before I changed my life, but I remember I was with my ex-girlfriend. We were watching Friends, and I get this like fuzzy, warm feeling. Oh, they're feeling good. They're having fun. They're dating. Oh, they're all friends. And I realized, but I'm not part of this. I don't have this. This that feels nice on the TV. It's fucking fake. I just get a fuzzy feeling, but when I think about that, I'm just looking at pretend people doing this. Then I don't feel good about it at all. And yes, I think so. And it's all, when people are so into, it's one thing that if I don't watch much like fiction at all, like movies or TV at all these days. But I like superheroes growing up. So if I get the time, I would maybe watch a new Avengers movie once or something. So it's not that you can't do it at all. But when I see people being so overly excited about this, the next Avengers movie, Harry Potter, I love Harry Potter. This is like, to me, you know, you have nothing going on in your life if you can be so into these things. And it's like following sports teams. If you are interested in a sport and you play it yourself and you also like following people on a higher level, that's one thing. But so many, they love their team. It's like, but what are you doing? Like, why do you love sitting and watching other people and then discuss with others and pretending that you're just sitting there looking? You're not doing shit. So yeah, consumer society has definitely killed this power process in us that you call it. Phil Um, Phil do you strictly stick to 1.5 to 2 grams per kilo of lean body weight, or is that amount a bit of a scam to sell us protein powder we don't need? Um, I mean, I always get confused when people say this, because of me, when I don't try to overeat on protein, I hit way more than 1.5 to 2 grams per kilo body weight. I mean, I weigh right now, like, I mean, after a fast maybe less, but going into the fast I weigh like 85 kilos. So for me it would be like 170 grams according to the formula. But I end up eating like at least 100 grams more than that oftentimes, because I eat a lot of animal foods, and it's not only for the protein. Like, I think the saturated fat from animals and the animal protein is very important too, but it's a lot for the micronutrients. Like, in the eggs, there are different micronutrients that you want. In the red meat, there are different micronutrients that you want. In the liver, there are different micronutrients that you want. In the milk, dairy, there are different micronutrients that you want. In the fish. So I just end up eating a lot of protein. I felt like, like, even I've never had to try to hit the protein goal, is what I'm saying. I feel like it's so easy when you just eat good food. What I will say is that I think you can eat even less, and make gains still. But I just don't really, I don't understand why, really. And protein powder, if we're talking about that, we don't need it. But it's not that expensive. And I like protein powder. It's like my treat. Because if you take a good one, and it's not too many additives, you keep your diet clean otherwise. It's good protein. Well, I like the whey protein. It's a fast digesting protein. I kind of like it for it to be like the first, not always, but having whey in my first meal of the day when you fasted throughout the night, right? Um, and then you get some nice taste, when you don't eat a bunch of candy and shit, right? So, yeah, that's my whole take on the protein thing here, I guess. We have quite a few people, guys. That's good to see. Please like the stream. Please ask questions in the chat. I can keep this going for a little longer now. Oh, I need to put in the power supply for the computer. And please, guys, if you get anything out of this stream or any of my content at all, consider supporting me via the super chat, or becoming a Patreon, or picking something up from the Solar merch store that we now have. Let's do it like that. You see, very successful. So there we go. Chocolate protein powder. Swan Levin says, yeah, my favorite one is chocolate peanut that I have with my Greek yogurt and honey. Already there, it's good, right? But then you have the blueberries and raspberries. Then depending on the I have more kefir if I'm more eating leaner. I'm more bulking, and then I also throw some nuts in there, throw some cocoa flakes. Great stuff, great stuff. What, you don't even need desserts when you eat stuff like that. Let's see. Swen Livin, is resistance training every day harmful? That's kind of a blanket question. It's like, is meat good? Is blah blah dangerous? It's like it depends. If you train super hard every day, it's not good. But if you train at the right intensity that you can handle training every day, it's not dangerous. It's or harmful. So it's too simple of a question. And now you say, you followed up, I train every day but only do resistance training 4 times and the rest is cardio or martial arts or something for flexibility. Yeah, sounds good. I mean, you see, it's not necessarily dangerous to do resistance training every day. It's not necessarily something you have to do either. I do it 5 times in my current split. Then I throw in other just exercise that will, a little bit of core and shit will include, I mean, some more resistance training, but some mobility. I do some cardio via my dancing. Today, actually, the last thing, that's something I forgot to tell you about this dopamine fast. The last thing that happened was I was carrying this backpack with like 10 kilos of stuff that I was bringing home from the island. And then I picked up food and I had a bag for that. And it broke and I missed the bus. And I considered taking one of these e-scooters, but then I realized, hey, my phone, I don't have my SIM card. It's at home. I can't, literally. So I ended this fast by being 72 hours fasted, walking 3 kilometers with a 10 kilo backpack here, and basically a 10 kilo bag, searcher style here for the difficult. But it'll get kind of a lot of core upper back training from that. Okay. Azar asks, is 3 days enough for a dopamine detox? Enough for what? Enough for what? It's like, for my purposes, it was enough. I got exactly what I wanted from it. Could I be even more dopamine sensitive if I stayed out there for a week not doing shit? Maybe, but for my purpose, it was enough. So, enough for what? That should be your question. I have this problem. I'd like to feel like this. How is 3 days enough for that? Do you understand? Monk, I know you're not a fan of a rolling fast, but since I did choose to do them for 3 months, what importance do you place on protein quantity on the feeding days? Like, for what purpose? I mean, protein is important, but just for health reasons, it's not that you necessarily have to eat a bunch of protein. I mean, do you train a lot? Like, you should eat a lot of protein then if you resistance train a lot. I mean, I place it doesn't really matter if you do rolling fast or not. It depends on what your goal is. Like, what are you doing? It's not because I eat more in total when I fast, like on a day when I break the fast, but it's not necessarily the protein I tend to keep high because, like I said, my protein is already quite high, right? And yeah, oh, Phil D, my guy. Phil, you're a true one. You've supported me a lot on this, and I appreciate that because of, we talked about the coaching on and off, but you always end up just asking me some questions and then sending a super chat instead. I appreciate that too, my man. I'll have to watch your stream tomorrow. Steak is calling for the family meal. Thanks for the content, as always. Well, I truly appreciate that, Phil, and I mean it. Not only the pounds here, but your words and your whole attitude that you've stayed and supported like this for quite a bit. Not many do, and I'm really trying to build something here, and I really need you guys' support for that. So maybe I'm a little bit emotional after my fast too, but I truly appreciate it, my man. Thank you. Uh, 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 uh. Don, never trash talk my animes. Did I do that? I mean, I'll say this. I love Berserk, but I read it once, I watched it once, I probably never again. Um, that will be in some specific time of my life when I just have more downtime, or if I'm, you know, I just have to chill a bit more or something. But Berserk, I loved. And I say this: if you do productive stuff in your life, you may have some anime on the side, but don't make it a big thing. Don't make your life about anime. That's fucking not living. That's pretending to live. That's like keeping yourself occupied with fantasies so that your life just passes by, but you're not actually living. And we were on the protein thing, but you see that to end that point, I just wanted to highlight the super chat there. But to end that point, protein is important to build muscle, but it's not more important just because you're doing rolling fast. I don't quite get that line of thinking. It's just that when you don't fast, yes, you want to eat good food and high protein and train, as you would otherwise, right? Swen Levin. Oh, no, that was a follow-up or something else you said. Billy Batson. I used to play football in America as a lineman, so I lifted weights ever since high school, so I have some muscle. Ah, makes sense. That's the thing with you Americans. That's not a thing at all here in Sweden, that you just lift weights in school, like, no, I mean, of course you do. I remember in like, not high school, it's like middle school. I don't know because what you call high school we call gymnasium. But when you're like early teens, I remember a few times there was a gym that we just got to go to and use some stuff, but it was not like a weightlifting class or anything. But you guys seem to have that there. That's fucking great. That would be so good. It's ridiculous that we don't have more of that, really. Like, learn the guys to lift weights early in life. You help them so much. And have a good diet, though, too. Um, mm, mm, mm. Never trash talk my animes. Uh, Billy Batson, is there such a thing as undereating and overtraining? You mean together or separately? Definitely. I mean, you probably don't have to worry about undereating like that. But now, when you fasted for a long bit, maybe, your body, even if you have body fat, your body is just, you don't give it what it needs to thrive and like run hot, right? You kind of overly starved your body for a bit. So, and then we just have, of course, the hard gainers, the guys that are kind of naturally more skinny, that say they eat a lot, but they don't really. They have to eat more if they want to make gains and put on muscle. Overtraining is definitely a thing. I've done it a lot. Like, my tendency has been to, most people undertrain and overeat, though, is important note. But a guy like myself, I've had to use discipline to train less hard sometimes, because I just want to give it my all. What can I do more? I've already done this. What more can I do? And I remember one time before I had figured it out really, but I was waking up like I was feeling so tired, but I was like all tense and stuff, cortisol running high, and I realized now that I was training way too high volume at too high of an intensity. So there are such things, is that most people need to worry about the opposite, eating too much crap and not putting in enough effort with their training. Monk. For maintaining muscle, to expand on the question before, just doing the minimum to maintain muscle and lose fat. Training once on my feeding days, trying to hit the maximum weight I can on one set, just squats and presses, 6 to 8 reps. Maintaining muscle, like, if you just want to maintain muscle, you don't have to worry about it so much. Just train hard enough. That's gonna be more important than how much protein you eat, unless you like severely undereat on it. Then I'll say that high protein is kind of always a good weight loss strategy, because it keeps you more satiated, and it is also the macronutrient that takes most energy to digest. So those calories are less, in a sense, because you use more calories digesting them. So you don't have to worry about it. Okay, you continue on it. In other words, am I trying to hit close to 300 grams of protein on my feeding day to make up for my fast day, or am I just freestyling it and trying to eat a bunch of good protein and fat until I'm full? Yeah, the latter. I mean, you can't make up with it for it with 300 grams of protein. The thing is, we don't store protein Other in like we use it to build the tissues, but we don't store it as we store glycogen in the liver and the muscles and body fat. We store like that. Protein we just use to make up tissue, so you can't just slam 300 grams of protein and think that you're using all of it productively to even build tissues. Most of it, or not most of it, I can't say, but a huge chunk of it is probably just going to be converted into glycogen. So it's not necessarily that you have to think more. For this purpose, you don't necessarily have to think more than 2 grams per kilo body weight or 1 gram per pound of body weight, and that should be your goal body weight. By the way, it's not that you need more protein because you're fatter. Then you can have, like I said, for other reasons, high protein. It's not, if you don't have kidney issues or something, it's not dangerous, and yeah, it will keep you more satiated, and the thermic effect, right? So yeah. Uh, Someone called Tooth the Moon says, Yekya hai ba, chutyakya bakra hai. I don't know what that means. Billy Matson says, together. Oh, you meant them together. Under eating and overtraining together. Yeah, I mean, you could do them together, definitely. You train too hard, you don't eat enough, you don't recover well. That's actually, it's not something I'm going to bring up on this stream now, but I've queued up a question from another guy that kind of relates to that, and we'll save for the next week's stream. And yeah, guys, because you in the States have another time when you switch to daylight savings time. Now my streams on Saturdays will be 5 p.m. We change time, but it will be 5 p.m. Central European time if you look it up. Yeah, it just will be, just so you know. It was today. Mm-mm-mm. Attack on Titan soundtrack gives me best gym motivation. Well, as long as you use it for that and just not sit and look like a nerd only. If you use it to be productive in the gym, then I approve. But there's gonna come a time, that's the thing I feel like. The more of a man with a mission you become, the less you even want. You're not, sometimes maybe you wish, oh, I wish I had a little time to it, but I don't. On my downtime, I don't really want to do those things. I prefer to meet someone and just shoot the shit then. I don't want to just sit and watch made up stuff, because you start viewing it as that more and more. It was something, this Andrew Tate guy, I've not been following a lot, whatever. Obviously says a lot of true stuff and has achieved some great success. But I heard a story his brother told that he was like bragging when they were like teenagers, late teens or early 20s or something, about the Call of Duty game. Like, oh, I finished 40 kills, 1 death or something. And that Andrew had told him was like, yeah, but Christian, it doesn't really matter, does it? And he was like, no, it's true, it doesn't really matter because it's all made up. It's all made up. Like there is good, playing a little bit to wind down, and there is some fiction that there are actually deep messages that you can learn something from. But you see, in the end, it's what we do in the real world that matters, not nerding out a bunch about pretend stuff. Sven Living. I heard that Sweden has one of the best education system out there. In the future, I will either homeschool my kids or move to Sweden. School sucks here in Croatia. I don't know why all you people over there hear these things about Sweden. If you mean it's the best education system, as in the best brainwashing system, you're spot on. I would never put my kids in Swedish school. In fact, that's a big reason I want to leave. It's just indoctrination camp. No, like I feel like over there in Croatia and Greece that I would go and stuff, you have this old school view that these like little richer countries that our education system is so great. It's great on the surface, but it's all indoctrination bullshit, really. Really. I have a journalist degree before I finally took the full red pill on this. It was all indoctrination. It was all fucking communism, basically, but they dress it up as something else. And yeah, they school little communist journalists, basically. Like liberals, I guess, but no. Homeschool your kids. Don't move to Sweden. Sweden sucks in that regard. Billy Batson. I've tried to work out hard and heavy while in a long-term deficit and fasting. Feel like I'm under-eating and lacking energy. Yeah, I think you would be better off, start off at around your maintenance and smash your workouts hard, apply progressive overload, then try to eat less if you want to cut more aggressively, but eat enough protein and don't fast too much. You can't like restrict your body too much, because then you're gonna put it in a spot when it tries to hold on to just everything you give it. So uh, uh, have a good one, Solar Chat. Thanks for answering my questions. Well, peace to you too, Google user. Thanks for bringing some questions. Um, what's a safe amount of fat loss per week on terms of pounds? I don't even answer that question, man. You're thinking too much. A safe amount. A safe amount. I mean, any amount that makes you feel good, or it's like I don't understand a question like that. Don't worry about the rate so much, and worry about the process. Is it working? Is it taking you in the direction you want to? Okay, good. If it isn't, change something, but don't worry about the rate like that. Monk and rotate for the win. Yeah, well, I don't agree on certain views. Like, I don't want to be. I am a little ant compared to a guy like that. I don't want to be like, oh, because I hate it when people sit on the sideline and have opinions too much, when clearly the person they're having opinions about is just more accomplished than them. What I'd say is, so, that what doesn't speak to me about a guy like that is he talks, for instance, about just having all these play buddies, having so many women, blah, blah, blah. To me, that's not the way I view women, or I don't even want that at all. So I get a little like when I hear him talk like that, because I want one woman, that doesn't want me just for money, and that, look, I'm prepared to take my responsibility as a man and provide for the woman and family, but I want a woman that wants me for me and my values and the kind of dad I be, and that, and I know those women exist, and it's just a different kind of message than to be like, but when he talks about how the world works and how to get rich, and you gotta work hard, and kind of being depressed is kind of a choice, there's a bit of nuance. Of course, he phrases it in those controversial ways. I think he's spot on a lot of things, and clearly very successful guy, right? You can't argue with that. Hey, Santiago, what's up? I just saw you like my message on Instagram. Sven Livin said, really? I didn't know that. No, I see, a lot of you people from little poorer countries, like, just literally. I've been in Croatia. I really like it too. But you have this old, warped view, I feel like, of countries like Sweden, that everything is just so fucking great, but no, it's just prettier. It's the same bullshit, same brainwashing, same corruption here, just in a nicer dress, in a sense. Okay, I think I'm gonna end the stream there. I'm gonna have my last meal of the day: some eggs, some what is that fish even called? It's kind of salmon-like, but it's called like röding in Swedish. Yeah, I'm gonna have that for my last meal. Thank you for bringing the questions. Quite a few viewers today, guys. If you didn't like the stream already, please do. Please leave a comment after I end the stream. I will put out a bunch of videos in the week, guys, and yeah, I guess I'll see you later. Thank you for this time. Peace.